Liberal Senator Alex Antic joins us now to analyse the election results. Alex, you've heard what I have to say. Tell me what you think about the loss. And our viewers, outsiders viewers, will not forgive me if I do not say you should be the next leader of the Liberal Party. So there, I've said it, and you can do with that what you want. But that's what outsiders invariably think you and Jacinta and Matt Canavan and others are the stars, and that the Liberal Party is in a real mess. What happened, Alex?
Well, thanks, Rowan. It's very nice of you, but my place in the Senate would prevent that, and I'm not sure my path leads that way. But it's very nice of you to say that anyway. Look, Rowan, where to start? I mean, I think probably the first thing to say is that, it's difficult time for a lot of good people and colleagues, Peter included. Peter's a very good bloke. He really is. And the tragedy of this is that people never really, I don't think, saw the very kind, very quick-witted and mischievously humoured Peter Dutton out of all of this. I wish that there had been more of that. But I think in politics there is too much spin, too many focus groups, too many attempts to sort of try and turn things into things they're not. And he would have been a very good Prime Minister. But unfortunately, in this country, Conservative politics, the Conservative movement has, I think, and I have said it for a very long period of time, let Australians down by allowing things that are simply and demonstrably not true to be repeated ad nauseum over and over again. We're talking about net zero. We're talking about the sorts of things that are going on in our classrooms. We're talking about allowing, this nonsense of the pushback against colonial.
Sorry, Alex. James just wants to jump in.
So, Alex, can I just hop in here? Sorry, I just want to hop in here on this here because, a moment ago you said that Peter Dutton is a quick-witted individual and that there's all these sort of Labour lies out there. Where was this quick-witted individual when we needed him to go out there and push back against every lie from nuclear reactors cost $600 billion to they're going to take away your free Medicare or all of this sort of stuff? This was the most flat-footed campaign by an opposition leader I have seen for ages. He is the first opposition leader since World War II to suffer a swing against his own party. At the first term election being out of power. What accounts for the way in which this campaign was conducted and why there was absolutely no pushback against an absolute symphony of lies from the Labour Party? Was it the focus groups? Was it campaign headquarters? Does campaign headquarters have something to do with getting in the way of Peter Dutton running the campaign?
Yeah, well, James, I was getting to that, I must say. The whole argument about what went wrong with the campaign is probably a different stream. My point is just simply that I feel sorry for Peter because I think he's a good bloke. But look, the reality of that is, no, I don't think the campaign was of any sort of quality at all, frankly. I mean, I think it simply didn't have policy that resonated. I mean, many of the policies were, in my mind, reminiscent of a mobile phone contract. For the first 12 months, you'll get something free. So, there's a whole host of, which I don't mean to be flippant about, but that's just instinctively, I would hear things like, we're going to cut fuel excise, and I would think, great, but why only for 12 months? So I think these are some of the problems. There wasn't the depth of gifts on offer. I mean, in many cases, I feel very sorry for some of our excellent candidates, particularly here in South Australia, where we've done a power of work trying to get real people back into politics. But unfortunately, we sent the troops into battle without ammunition. And so I think that is the number one problem. Now, to the issue of nuclear in particular, well, look, I just can't answer that because we announced what I think was a very good and sensible nuclear policy and then wouldn't talk about it. So I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that this rot, this will never be explainable simply in the last 4 weeks. What we have to look back is the last 20 years of Conservative politics where we simply have waved and smiled and nodded and pushed things through, and there hasn't been enough pushback. I can tell you, I'm in there day to day making these points around anyone that will listen, getting called all sorts of names, hard right, far right, whatever. I was the only member of the coalition that crossed the floor to vote against the hate crimes bills. I voted against the social media bills. There are things that are just not being said inside the walls of the Liberal Party, and they have to. And look, I think the other thing you need to say is that I think there are people inside the party that didn't want Peter to become the Prime Minister. I myself was the subject of a story that was backgrounded, trying to effectively pick on one word I said back in 2022, which apparently was anti-Semitic, which it was not, as far as I was concerned. That was shopped around to multiple journalists. And when I asked the question about where this had come from, I was told inside your walls. So what's that all about? Why is that happening? And who? It doesn't damage me. I'm number one on the ticket. I was never going to not get elected. but I suspect it damaged Peter.